Maureen McGarity, just a couple of things. Please make sure your phones are on silent. Please, as you ask a question, raise your hand. Noah with the microphone will come around. Please make sure at each question to mention your name and affiliation. No phone, please make sure your phones are on silent. No phone video are allowed in this room. And if you would like to access this press conference video, you can do so on the NCAA digital workroom. So with that, we'll throw it to Coach McGarity and say congratulations, and we'll open up for an opening statement.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Steve. Obviously very excited to be here. Dream come true, back to back with such an amazing group of young women that really battled through a lot of adversity this year. Senior laden, team that's been through a lot from their 4 years. I came in with them, COVID, a lot of upsets, championships. So I'm just really, really proud of their resiliency this year. And what an amazing opportunity to play in the NCAAs. Just such a connected group. So we're thrilled to be here, really excited. And obviously we have a huge task ahead of us playing UT Martin.
Questions for Coach? Go ahead.
Hi, this is Scott Docterman with The Athletic. Welcome to Iowa City.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about Brona. I hope I pronounced that correct.
Brona.
Brona. Yeah. Okay, my apologies. She's had a tremendous career, obviously, and a tremendous season. What makes her go? And she's the Scholar Athlete of the Year in the league in a very talented academic conference. And what is her personality like, and where do you think she'll go after this?
Yeah, I could go on, and I know I have over my 4 years of talking about Brona and just how much she's meant not only to our, basketball program, but our Holy Cross community as a whole, even the Worcester community. She's just the most well-rounded human being I've ever been around, to be honest, not just as a basketball player, but like you mentioned, as a scholar athlete, just one of the most ultra-competitive people I know in everything that she does, but just such a great teammate, so coachable. She's just a natural-born leader. I think the moment she stepped foot on campus, you just knew she was a special person. Played at prep school in Connecticut. When I got the job, it was COVID. Had a recruiter over Zoom while she was in Ireland, and I will forever be grateful that she believed in me without ever meeting me, committing over Zoom and playing at Holy Cross. But she's just is going to forever make a lifetime lasting impression on everyone that she's met at Holy Cross, and she's truly one of the greats that will have ever played at Holy Cross.
Go ahead.
Aaron Blue with Hawkeye Sports. You seem to hang your hat on the defensive side of the ball. Defensive Players of the Year under you, everything like that. How important is the defensive side of the ball when you get in, especially when you get into March?
Yeah, I'm really proud of that, and all the credit goes to the players. They've really bought into that over the years. Our Patriot League has some great players that can really score the ball, so we knew a few years ago that we had to change something. We had to adjust and really focus on our defensive effort, really emphasizing team defense, rotations, rebounding has been a huge piece to our success over the years. And then obviously once you get to the tournament, anything can happen. And I'm really excited about just our confidence right now and just the matchups we've had to face over the last 3 games in the Patriot League tournament. And the game plan that my amazing staff, put together, and the team really stuck to it, and knowing personnel, you have to be able to do that once you get to tournament time. Anything can happen as far as shooting, and when you're on neutral courts and home courts. So I'm really, really excited about that, and take a lot of pride in that as well. It's not always pretty for us, but we always seem to find a way. And that's just, I think who this group is, just tough competitors, gritty, and our defense, obviously has helped us win a lot of championships.
Go ahead, Scott.
This second straight year, and I know you've been in the tournament. I can't remember if you were in before that, but how are the experiences been different thus far? I think you took a bus to Maryland, which I'm sure could be challenging especially the direction that you're having to go, and then versus, a charter flight here, and maybe how has that experience helped shape your team this year and then coming into the tournament?
Yeah, it's been, obviously last year was the first time for all of us. And we only had one senior on our team, Addie Cross, last year. Kind of, I think, surprised a lot of people making a run at the end. And so we were just, obviously thrilled just to be in the tournament. And I think the travel piece, it didn't overshadow what we experienced and how amazing it was to play at Maryland. But this year obviously it's a different situation. We have 4 seniors. It's our last run at this. We were picked preseason to win. Reigning champions, all of that. So there was a lot more pressure. So when we found, we had to play our best basketball when it mattered the most. So to be able to, get the reward of, wow, we get to, take a charter and experience all that has been incredible. I mean, I can't, put into words how special it's been just to watch the players, and myself for that matter. I've never been on a charter flight. My daughters, my parents, Dave and Rita made the trip as well. But just to see their faces, boarding the plane and, everything, this has been incredible. Since we've, landed here in Iowa, just the people are just so gracious and helpful and kind, and we get here, we just went to the locker room. The volleyball locker room is unbelievable. So we're just having the time of our lives right now, and really excited to practice here. We actually last night went to the men's NIT game so we could really experience what it's like to sit in the stands, and we could see from far across the way in the arena. Caitlin Clark was watching the game, so that was pretty cool. So we're just taking it all in, right now. And then obviously we know we have a really, really tough game ahead of us, and we'll prepare, the best that we can as a staff so that we're ready. And with this group, it's been amazing. I'm just so excited. And of all the groups I've ever been with, they deserve this. They really, truly do. So it's been really special.
Go ahead, Aaron.
With you talked about coming to Iowa and the atmosphere around this, women's basketball just really feels like it's taken a huge jump in the last 2 years. We feel it here in the Midwest with Caitlin and Iowa and everything like that. But how does the atmosphere around women's basketball in your league in that area? How does that feel like it's elevated to make March even feel more special right now?
Yeah, it's an incredible time, for women's athletics, but, obviously specifically for us, for women's basketball. Our last 2 Patriot League championship games have been incredible as far as atmosphere and the buzz around campus. Last year was at Boston University. It was a sold-out crowd. It was incredible. This year at the Hart Center, on our campus, it was the ticket. The ticket everybody was trying to get, on a Sunday afternoon at 12 o'clock, and it was packed, and not only were people there, but they were so invested, and BU did a great job too. Our league has done a tremendous job of just making people want to come to our games. And, I think at our level, at every level right now, mid-major level, this level on the biggest stage, it's exciting. So many people are watching basketball. I can't tell you how many people, even reached out to my parents saying, wow, they saw our game, on CBS, and wow, that was the most amazing championship game I've ever watched, and that's Holy Cross BU. So it's just such an exciting time. I'm so proud, to coach women's basketball right now, and obviously here in Iowa, Caitlin has just made such an impact on that. Just the excitement and her style of play, and she's changing the way that I have 2 daughters. I mean, they've watched more Caitlin Clark games than I have. I think if we're lucky enough to get to Saturday, I'm going to have my oldest probably help us with the scouting report, to be honest. But she's just changed how the game's played, and I think that's so exciting for young girls, young boys that watch, college age. I mean, she's made such an impact. So it's a really, really special time.
Scott?
2 of your players, Janelle and Lauren, are from Illinois, just a couple hours away from here. What was their reaction like to being able to come to Iowa, and have you talked to them about that?
Yeah, really, really exciting. I mean, we've always tried our best to, to get to play games back where our players are from. So, the closest I think we got for them, we played at Marquette 2 years ago. And actually, Janelle Allen's brother is on the football team here at Iowa, Junior Allen. So that was really neat. When she found out that, he came to the game yesterday. I think we're going to try to see him after, do a tour of the football stadium. So it's exciting. I mean, anytime you can play anywhere in the country, but especially a place like Iowa, where women's basketball is just at the absolute peak right now. So, but it was neat. I think especially those two were really, really excited, and obviously for their families as well.
Any further questions? All right, thank you, Coach, for your time.
Thank
Good
you.
luck tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I didn't trip coming up the stairs. I did that last year.
So joining us today from Tennessee Martin, we have Anaya Brown and Kinley McCarn. So please raise your hand if you have a question for our student athletes.
Hi, this is Scott Doctorman with The Athletic. I want to start with Kenley and also Anaya. I guess could you talk about how the Ohio Valley Conference helped prepare you for this on this journey, and what does it mean to be able to play in the NCAA tournament?
I think we have pretty good competition in our conference. It's very competitive. So to have to battle every single game, and we constantly get better every single game, definitely helps us when we get to this level. But yeah.
It's Anaya, by the way, and it's okay. But just going out and playing day by day and just one team at a time, it'll help us prepare for this moment.
Next question, Aaron.
Aaron Blue with HawkeyeSports.com. Going into the matchup tomorrow, what do you see on film with Holy Cross? What do you expect out of the game? Any areas of focus that you guys have going into tomorrow internally for your team?
I think it's going to be a battle the whole game. They can shoot. They've got bigs. I feel like we match up pretty well, though. So, we're going to get after it on defense, and hopefully that flows into offense. But we just got to communicate really well and know what we're doing.
Kinley, we'll ask a couple other questions. Your team is a relatively young team. You've been in the postseason, but not the NCAA. How has it been for your team since Selection Sunday?
It's been an experience. It's been pretty cool. We are freshmen and sophomores, so we didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into. But to get to go through all this, and it's just a really good experience. Lots of fun.
And Anaya, your team has fought through injuries this year. How has that been for you personally, or your whole team kind of rallying together?
The injuries were very disheartening, but overall we overcame them, and we just wanted to fight through.
Scott?
Yeah, this is for Kenley. We couldn't help but notice your walking boot. Is that preventative, or is that something that you maybe hurt in the conference tournament and are just kind of working through, and will you be able to play then tomorrow?
Yes, I'll absolutely be playing, but we probably think I'm going to have a stress fracture. But we just went ahead and started wearing the boot so that it doesn't get worse before we play. But I will be taking it off and playing.
Any further questions for our student athletes? All right, thank you. We'll have Coach in here in a little bit. Thank you. Okay, everyone, thank you for being here for this afternoon's press conference with UT Martin coach Kevin McMillan. Just a couple quick reminders. Please silence all cell phones. No cell phone video, flash photography, or video cameras are allowed in press conferences. And media may access press conference video at the NCAA digital workroom. If you have a question, please raise your hand and our microphone will come to you. Please identify your name and affiliation with each question. We'll start off today with a couple of opening comments from Coach McMillan.
Opening comments. Well, it's been a while since we've been here, and it's kind of wasn't expected. If you look back at November for our squad, and they've figured out a way to compete and learned how to win, and had to deal with some issues all year long, like every team does. We've had our share, but everybody's got adversity to fight through, and proud that these kids are still playing.
Okay, we'll open up for questions.
Yeah, Coach Scott Docterman with The Athletic, and I wanted to ask you about the resiliency of your team. I believe you started 0-6 early in the year, and then to come back and fight back and get to this point. What does it say about your team, how they came together, and the leadership?
Well, we really don't play seniors and juniors, so the leadership has had to come from freshmen and sophomores. And I think that's one of the reasons, early on, even though we weren't winning, we were doing stuff in games that I was extremely impressed with. We weren't getting killed on the glass against a Marquette that was ranked the top 25. We took Vanderbilt down to the last second, had a chance to win. We just, being as young as we were, we didn't know how to win. But then the injury bug hit us, and we lost Shea Littleford, and we lost Morgan Borgstadt, we lost Allie Collette. We had already lost Sydney Boykin. Then we lost Nora Clark at the end of the year. So, I think what this team has learned how to do is reinvent itself. And each time it's reinvented itself, it's gotten a little bit better and a little bit better. And the thing that I said all year long is that they find a way, and then you just kind of fill in the blank. They'll find a way to compete on the glass. They'll find a way to rebound. They'll find a way to win. And I think that that's a rare thing these days. And when you find kids that just figure out ways, they don't have to be talented, they just figure out ways, it's a great quality that we have definitely had to tap into all season long.
Aaron Blue from HawkeyeSports.com. You mentioned it'd been a while since you've been here, but you have a lot of coaching experience in the NCAA tournament. What messages did you share with your team about competing in the NCAA tournament, being here in the moment, in any things like that you shared with this young squad?
Well, as you get older, you want your kids to enjoy the moments, I guess you would say, in life that don't come around all the time. And, I've been watching, the March Madness stuff, and there's so many good teams, good coaches, good players that are either in the NCAA tournament for the first time, or they haven't been in 10 years, or they're not here. So I want these kids to enjoy it. I do think that they're young enough that they don't really know what they're doing. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think we'll figure that out tomorrow. But, it's kind of, we weren't really supposed to do it this quickly, and they've done it. And I'm hoping that they'll enjoy it, but take it as a springboard to maybe get hungry and try to do things more often.
Scott?
Yeah, Scott Docterman again with The Athletic. I wanted to ask you about Kenley McCarn and her impact, not only to help bring you to this point, but her toughness. We saw, she's got potentially a stress fracture she's trying to work through, and to do it at a high level as one of the best, if not the best player in the Ohio Valley Conference.
Well, she's got the beginnings of a stress fracture. She's got an MRI set up for her shoulder as soon as the season's over. She's got an MRI set up for her knee as soon as the season's over. We moved her to point guard back when we were 0-6, and I really wish you hadn't reminded me of 0-6. We try to block that part of the year out. But we moved her to point guard, and she's not a point guard. But when we moved her there, we started figuring out how to win ball games. You're talking about a kid that won 4 state championships in high school, was MVP 3 times. She's just a winner, and you don't count that kid out in any setting. And I think that the kids in the tournament kind of looked at her, and she put it on another level, and they all just said, "Oh well, yeah, let's do it." It's again one of those rare qualities that you find and especially in somebody as young as she is, that she's able to galvanize the people around her and make them raise their game. And it was fun to watch. I mean, I sat over and shut my mouth and let them do their thing because they were following her.
Aaron Blue with HawkeyeSports.com. You mentioned, the start, the injuries, everything that goes with that, and having a young team that's just kind of enjoying the moment. But as you reflect on it, how difficult was the year with everything, and how sweet is the moment winning the tournament and then getting to this point, given everything that's happened?
Well, I think the most difficult, it's been hard. I mean, let's be honest. It's been really hard. The most difficult thing for me, again, as I get older, is when you look out there and you're putting these young kids in positions that they're not accustomed to, and then you're asking them to play 38, 39, 40 minutes a game, and you see the toll on their body that it takes every single day. And it's hard on me to put them out there and ask them to do that, but when things happen and circumstances are what they are, you do what you have to do. We didn't go into this season thinking we'd have 4 kids that averaged 38 plus minutes. We didn't think we'd be getting 98% of our scoring from freshmen and sophomores. We didn't plan on all that stuff. It just happened. And so looking back, again, as coaches, we don't ever really get to enjoy what we go through. You just don't. And that's probably the worst part of our profession. But I hope these kids have enjoyed it. And I hope that our fan base has enjoyed it, getting to know these kids. But for me personally, it's been a hard year watching these kids struggle, watching them hurt, but then seeing them reap the benefits of their work. It's extremely enjoyable.
Coach, I'll throw one question in. Opposite of your younger team, Holy Cross plays a lot of seniors. They were in the tournament last year. In a quick turnaround, how do you see the matchup and what your team has to do in the first game?
Well, ironically, if you listen kind of what I was talking about, we don't have a point guard. Everybody's out of position. So we've actually gotten pretty decent at playing different styles, turn around things quickly, because we're not really very good at one particular thing. Because we're not in what we're natural at. So, they are way more experienced, which is a challenge. And the problem is the offenses and defensive scheme that they have is extremely hard to prepare for, especially in a quick turnaround. So I think our kids have had to do that and have done it against some teams in our league. Again, they could be starry-eyed, and we've been down 17-3 in games and come back and figured out our ways to compete. I don't know, but I think that Holy Cross presents some problems for us that these kids hopefully have seen on film and can figure out. What I'm hoping that they'll do is find some team that we've played that they can connect to. Actually, the team that we likened them to was the team we played in the first game of the season, was Marquette and some of their players. But I'm hoping that that'll click in their minds and that they can have some kind of reference point which might help them.
Any further questions? All right. Thank you, Coach. Thanks for joining us, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.